Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now July 28th of 2020, and ever since the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans around the world have really been intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that they are heading in a better direction for the franchise, and the fact that George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are all working together as a team to really provide new, authentic stories to really satisfy a majority of the Star Wars fans out there. We can really see that they really are trying to make things right with the Star Wars fans around the world to really create a better future for the Star Wars franchise. Now, given that The Rise of Skywalker was a very messy and shaky production behind the scenes, all because of Kathleen Kennedy, of course, and all the reshoots that she initiated back in 2018, and let's not forget about the second phase of reshoots and rewrites in 2019 as well, that really made the film feel very rushed. You will realize that when you watch it in the very beginning, I would say mostly in the first act, is that it feels like a very rushed film, that there's a lot of pacing issues when it comes to Kylo Ren's story on Mustafar and Exegol, and then all the way over to the jungle world with Rey training with Leia. Very, very fast paced. It's like we're jumping through the entire movie in the first act. Now, with that being said, of course, we do know that what they are doing is that they are currently developing major retcons for Episode 9 that is going to change our perception of the Rise of Skywalker as the very end of the Skywalker saga. Now, with that being said, of course, since the release of The Rise of Skywalker, the entire fandom has been divided from what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi and what J.J. Abrams was forced to do with Episode 9. Now, it's explained that behind the scenes, many changes are being applied to the sequel trilogy by creator George Lucas to create a major change to the current lore for Star Wars. Now, it's described that Lucas, Favreau, and Filoni are working on major retcons for The Rise of Skywalker in order to fix aspects of Episode 9 as a film. It's said that one major change coming to The Rise of Skywalker is that the reason Rey was able to defeat Emperor Palpatine during her time in Exegol was primarily due to the Skywalkers temporarily becoming a part of Rey's spirit. Now, it's noted that Luke, Leia, and Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost bonded with Rey during her battle against Palpatine, and is going to be the real reason as to why Rey was able to defeat Sidious with ease. So let's stop right here for a second, is because the fact that they are going to make this canon next year, of having the Force Ghosts of the Skywalkers bond with Rey temporarily speaking to help her actually face Palpatine, defeating him once and for all, now it's as if Lucas is really giving the Skywalkers the credit that they deserve, even though that we do not visually see them in Episode 9. Now, it's noted that George Lucas wants to make it geared toward the Skywalkers in a significant way, with these new retcons set to release sometime next year and in 2022 as well, that will change the canon of Episode 9. Not just that, but also Lucas is set to make it clear that Ben Solo entered into the Worlds Between Worlds after his death and was given an option on what to do with his fate by the Wills, who are godlike beings. The decision by Lucas is to have Ben Solo become a part of Rey's spirit was another way for Rey to become a literal Skywalker in a sense, where Ben becomes a part of her. Now, one of the other retcons, and the biggest retcons of all coming for Episode 9, is that George Lucas is set to establish that Palpatine had a child, his son, with somebody instead of through the entire cloning process through gene splicing, and that Palpatine had of course, a dark acolyte female interaction at one point in time during his life in the past, and used her as a vessel through the ways of the Force in order to create his own son in a different way, where the dark side of the Force would initiate the birth of his son through the dark acolyte, which would serve as Rey's grandmother, who was later killed by Palpatine after she gave birth to his son. Now, Lucas wants to create a more tragic story for the House of Palpatines, and the history of that family and how it connects over to Rey, and felt that Kathleen Kennedy did a poor job handling Rey's parents. So, once again, the fact that he is going to drastically change the concept of how his son was born. Now, mind you, we know little to nothing about Rey's, father in Episode 9, also known as Palpatine's son, is because, well, they shoehorned the character into the story. We never really got to learn all that much about this character, and now George Lucas really wants to fix that. Now, in Star Wars Legends, Palpatine's son was more of a mutant, if you will, called Triclops, I believe his name was, and in that, we really didn't, get to see exactly, the full backstory of Palpatine's son, in episode 9, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to model after Legends, where it kind of went into more an in-depth scenario about his actual child. Now, this is going to be a very interesting process to see exactly how it's really going to, sit with the fans, and if they're going to accept these changes. In my point of view, this fixes a lot of aspects of everything within episode 9, especially how the Skywalkers as Force Ghosts played a major role in the destruction of Palpatine once and for all. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon,